Very, very modest opinion and a grade to the government, how you think they performed out of 10. But let's go to the cost of living. This was your pet subject in the election, pre-election, yes, and during the election. And bottom up was an aspect that first, even you, was alien to you. Then eventually you came to understand it and joined that side of the team. The cost of living, how do you think your government has done in terms of ensuring that Kenyans can afford not only to get by, but actually to live?
This is a work in progress, Ken Mijigo. I say so because we know that we are going through a highly inflationary situation. But in spite of that, the government went out of its way to make sure, when we look at the staple food, which is maize, the government went out of its way to support production by ensuring that farmers get fertilizer at the rate of 3,500 shillings per bag, down from 7,000. All right? Now, this has seen tremendous increase in the capacity of the farmers. Prior to the Kenya Kwanza government, we had harvested as a nation 32 million bags of maize. With the intervention of the government, we are projecting that we'll harvest about 44 million bags of maize, and in terms of the acreage that farmers have put on food, they have increased it by 200,000 acres.
Okay.
And I can tell you right now, Gorogoro, the maize that is sold in Gorogoro, as you know it,
yes,
is down to about 90 shillings, coming down from about 200. Now, this is beginning to show, and even if you went to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, you will see that the inflation level is beginning to decline. Right.
We are running a story this evening, PCS, about North Rift farmers who are concerned that with El Nino and they were expecting a harvest, they may not be able to get the bumper harvest. And even if they do, because of rain not being able to dry their maize, we are staring at losses. Have you factored this in as you speak about possibility of getting 44 million bags, that the farmers from the Kenya's bread basket are already worried because of the rains? We might just go back to where we were.
We have factored it in, Ken Mijimbu. One of the things that I would like to make very clear is that even when we were in Kakamega for the cabinet session, it was made clear that the government is going to go out of its way to support farmers with dryers in the maize producing areas, and the government was going to support them by making sure that the cost of drying that grain will be subsidized.
Okay.
So our concentration is to the farmers. So
okay,
there are going to be dryers, and that is a critical intervention. Equally, the government has already tasked the National Cereals and Produce Board through the Ministry of Agriculture to set aside some resources to be able to start the purchase of the offtake of some of the farmers' grain.
Okay. As you talk about the farmers, specific examples, PCS, on how your government is specifically putting money in the pockets of Kenyans. Forget about the farmers, which the government says they've done really well, and we're waiting to see the harvest. But specifically, would you say Kenyans are better in September of 2023 than they were in 2022 because the government of President William Ruto has put money in the pockets of Kenyans? And how is that?
The Kenyans are going through a difficult time, And we are going to systematically chip off that weight that is hurting the Kenyans. We must not forget or run away from the fact that the previous government had put us in serious debt. Now, that debt is coming to bite us because global factors like the Russian-Ukraine battle has exerted pressure on global supply chains, disrupting them. Equally, the bigger economies had raised interest rates, and this has impacted on the strength of the shilling, so that it has lost about 16% against the dollar. Now, this is not something that just comes overnight. Mm-hmm. What we are saying is that with time, the situation is going to be much better, and the interventions that the government is making are going to yield results.
Okay. I'm glad you're admitting that.
I've always said.
Yes.
I've always said that turning around the economy is not like instant coffee.
It can be.
Good.
You are talking about from 200 to 90 tonight, but my question is, if we can't even afford the 90 PCS, how is it a good thing for Kenyans? Just hoping, because what you're selling us tonight is hope that we shall be better tomorrow.
Ken, we are doing what governments do. And Kenya Kwanza took the position that one of the things that we want to do is to improve the economy. Can you tell me, Ken, of any government globally that is giving people free food? There's none. So we have to work towards making sure that the cost of living is moderated. And remember, we also have to strike a balance between those who produce the food and those who consume the food. They all build the economy. Production and consumption, the supply and the demand, all must work together for an economy to grow.
Okay. Away from the economy.